Welcome back to the channel, Tripping with Retirees. Yes, it is midweek breakaway time, something we haven't done for ages, only due to our very hot summer we had. Temperatures on certain days were up to 40 degrees Celsius, which made it very unpleasant to be driving around. So we opted to stay indoors on those days. But it's cooler now, so it's time to get out there and have some fun. We're on the N7 heading towards our destination, and as usual on the N7 there are roadworks. So please drive carefully, be patient, take your time, obey the rules of the road, and you will definitely be okay reaching your destination. Sit back and enjoy the drive with us, and I will tell you where we're heading to. Get your cup of coffee ready, it's gonna be a long one. So here we go. After driving on the N7, we turned off left into Strand on the M19. And these fields are normally canola fields, but they've dried up because it's summer. And then we reached what I call the tunnel of trees. These trees are shaped by Mother Nature over many years, and it leads you into the Malpus area. But we're not going there. We are turning right and we're heading on the R27. And where are we heading to? Yes, we're off to St. Helena Bay for a couple of days. I'll give you more info on St. Helena Bay as we are driving along. But first, we have Kubuk Power Station on our left-hand side. St. Helena Bay was found by or discovered by the Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama in 1497, and he named it Bahia de Santa Helena. St. Helena Bay boasts with 18 small bays, so we are going to be in for a lot of fun because this is things we like to explore. But before we do that, we have been driving for more than an hour, so we're going to stop at the garage, have a bathroom break, have something to eat before we reach or get on the road towards our destination. So bear with us, we will be on the road very shortly because we have no time to waste if we have such a lot of bays to explore. Stay with us and you'll be enjoying every minute of it too. So as I said, St. Helena Bay is on the west coast, which comprises of 18 small bays, with names such as Hannah's Bay, Fuel Bay, Stompnius Bay, Britannia Bay, and many more to name. St. Helena Bay is home to fishermen, so it is fed with a cold Benguela current, which is nutrient rich for fish such as snook and rock lobster or crayfish, as we call it in Cape Town. But it's not only a fishing area, it's also on the bird migration route. So birds such as cormorants and black oyster catcher, African black oyster catcher, are seen in this area. But the coastline feeds the local fisherman who lives here for many years, generations later. It is also home to a number of fish processing factories, and most of it you'll be familiar with because you probably have it in your grocery cupboard or have eaten it before. And this is one of the canning factories which you are passing on the right hand side. So when I was working in my younger years, I had the privilege of working in or on the West Coast. So I know the West Coast very well. But to my surprise, St. Helena Bay, who was many years ago just the canning factories, fishing village, and a few houses here and there, has grown way too big for me. There is so much development happening and so much which has happened. The town has totally changed. With the road recently tarred and widened, it makes it comfortable to get into the town. I must say, irrespective of the growth, the town is very, very clean, which I admire, and this is why I like West Coast towns, or seaside villages, as a matter of fact. So we explored or drove into the town, and as we drove along, I looked at all the places that has recently been built there. Our accommodation at St. Helena Bay has been pre-booked, something I do with all our getaways. I research it, look at the place, because I don't want any nasty surprises. So yes, this time around, we booked at the Sunset Lodge. Sunset Lodge was really very pretty. It had a beautiful entrance, very welcoming, and beautiful plants as you came in at the reception area, which was well marked. And as I walked through the little alley to the reception area, booked in, got my keys, went into the room, and saw how pretty the room was. Just excuse the towel, that was me who washed my hands. So your room is well equipped with your bed, a kitchenette with your basic needs, clothing cupboard to hang your clothes, microwave, aircon, a kettle, and your cutlery and your crockery with a bar fridge. So you are fine. It was comfortable with your desk and your two chairs, and outside, when you opened the patio door, led to a beautiful garden to enjoy and relax in. It also boasts with the cutest little restaurant on site, so you don't have to leave the premises when you want to eat something. The staff was very friendly, both the restaurant and the reception staff at the hotel. It also boasts with a beautiful indoor pool and what else? Yay, a spa, which is right there for you to use. Very friendly Monsieur or spa lady there, and then the garden, which led out of our door. The garden was clean and peaceful. So the residence also has an upstairs area, but we opted for downstairs. And I'll be sitting enjoying the plant life, coolness of the morning. We then got in and we drove around to the fisherman village area. Look how cute this house is decorated. And we drove for the afternoon to see what else St. Helena Bay has to offer. And then we came across the second fish processing place. I'll show you the sign and maybe you recognize it, and just maybe you will have a product in your kitchen cupboard. We then continued driving into an area called Stompnes Bay, which is adjacent to St. Helena Bay, just as pretty, just as clean, with the most beautiful tall trees to offer coolness and shade in the hot summer days. We enjoyed driving and exploring here because there was such a lot of pretty homes to see. We then drove back into the town of St. Helena Bay to explore the harbour, but first some more development to look at. So St. Helena by no means is a small town place any longer because there are such a lot of houses, but this just shows you how many city folk are there who are so desperate to get out of the hustle and the bustle of city life and just enjoy some peace and quietness. And this gives you the tranquility in this area, gives you such a lot of peace. But yes, let's enjoy it as we drive along. Unfortunately, in this video, as many of my others, I have to do a voiceover because we talk and we banter and we play music, which YouTube won't allow me to broadcast on this channel. So I have to, unfortunately, do voiceover on most of my videos. So we're entering the town again and we're going to be heading to the harbour of St. Helena Bay. And this is where all the harbour activities take place in the area. And as you can see, there are lots of places to eat. There are eateries that you can't even count them, coffee shops in abundance. Even in this harbour, we found places to eat. Obviously, we couldn't eat at all of them, but there are many to choose from. So there's no way you're not going to be happy with being in St. Helena Bay. You don't even have to pack a basket because there are enough places to eat here. So all these factories you're looking at, they are all part of the fish canning process. So the fish comes in off the boats and these factories grabs it and do the necessary. And therefore you see all these buildings in the background or in the foreground. And also you'll have fish sales, which there were none at the time when we were there. But all these places are part of the fish processing into your canned tins, which you see on the shelves in the shops. And then it was out on the road again. And we headed towards a place called Velddrif, just because we thought it's a good idea to go there too. Of course, Velddrif has many other places to see, like Port Owen, and then you get through to Leipzig. So yes, we ventured down to Velddrif, which was a short drive, definitely not a long drive, for the afternoon, and explored there a bit. And as we crossed the Berg River Bridge into Velddrif, which is a saltwater estuary that leads into the ocean, and this is the road that tells you you are now in Velddrif. So on the left hand side we passed some salt mining, and as you can see the heaps of salt there. And we took the road thinking we're going to Leipzig, changed our minds. Instead of turning left we turned right, and we'll get to Leipzig later. There's always time. And let's go and explore the main road of Veldrift. And then it was time for a U-turn, because that was not the right turn off. And off we go again in another direction. So down this little gravel piece, a few months ago, hubby and friends went fishing here, and he needed to show me where they were catching fish that weekend. And this is the same estuary or the Berg River where they were launching their boats to catch for the weekend. And he just needed me to see the area below the main road and all the interesting little places, a long route that was there for many years. There are so many places to see in the Western Cape. So get in your car, go and explore, and just see what the Western Cape has to offer you other than the hustle and the bustle of city life. I'm always amazed to see the beauty of these places out of town, so far out of town, but they're absolutely beautiful. And sometimes you doubt if you're really in the south of Africa because the view people have of Africa is totally different to what we know it is. And just look at this amazing beauty of the Berg River and the estuary as we travel towards it. And then it was next to Port Owen, which is adjacent. Lots of new development here too. Peaceful and quiet and clean as usual, as all West Coast towns are. So Port Owen boasts with a little mall with some shops there which you can enjoy. It is right next to the launch area or the marine area of Port Owen, which is just something else to see. Again, once more, little restaurants along the shore which you can enjoy, have a meal without anybody bothering you, and then watching the waters flow by if you take a walk across this tarmac. And at last we leave and we're off to the Laplik harbour area. So this is another busy little harbour area which is quite quaint. There are also places to eat here and relax and enjoy. So I will never post a video of what we're eating or when we take a lunch break, coffee break. It's just something I do not do. But yes, here are places to eat. And when I mention that, you must know what happened. But yes, small area. We'll be going along the beachfront and see what's happening there too. So we stopped off here and parked a little bit just to watch the ocean and see what happens in this little recreational park. We took a pic or a video of the picture across the bay from Live Lake all the way to St. Helena Bay with the calmest ocean ever. And in the background you'll see a fishing trawler making its way back to St. Helena Bay Harbour, probably with loads of fish to it. And we hope it is, so that these fishermen can have a good life and not be stuck in a position where they have nothing to eat. And as I filmed, I saw this little rig, and I was hoping it's not an oil rig because there were birds all over. And the peacefulness of one wave breaking, something you very seldom see. But soon it was time to get back on the road and head back to St. Helena Bay so that we could have a little bit of a break and then go out for supper that evening. I hope you enjoyed this drive with us, because if you haven't been here for a while, I'm sure you're shocked to see how much development has taken place over the years. And back over the Berg River Bridge towards St. Helena Bay. Until the next time, Fred and Velldrif. Until the next time. The next morning, we had breakfast at the cutest little restaurant called Ster, which is in a lifestyle center. Their decorative items were the coolest ever. And what I really loved about this place, they had wheelchair ramps, and those who are unable to walk could easily access the restaurants. What a lovely little center to be in. So we enjoyed the breakfast inside because it was rather chilly in the morning. but the inside was equally well decorated. We had a lovely waitress that served us, really a friendly girl, and she gave us the best options she could. And yes, when I used the bathrooms, I found this octopus holding toilet rolls. Yay! And then it's time to leave and explore the rest of the area. And so we drove to Lumpy's Bay and we continued with that road for many more hours because there are so many places to see and such a lot to do. So we had to come through these gates to get to the lighthouse where we wanted to be. And we entered here and then opted to first see the beach. But what a beautiful area. Because of the palm trees, it looked very tropical and it just gave another look to a dry West Coast town. Something that a lot of people don't know, West Coast towns are the most beautiful towns in the Western Cape. They are not dry. There are plant life. There's a lot of plant life and a lot of beautiful places to see. But watch and continue down this road with us and see if you can see the end of all the palm trees that were planted here. And yes, the gravel road ahead was to be expected, as on any trip of ours, there has to be some gravel road driving. And yes, there were lots. So we went down this gravel road in search of another gravel road. Unfortunately, this was the one we had to take, or fortunately. And you might wonder if I have anything against gravel roads, and the answer is no. I just love gravel roads because it is the road less traveled. There's no traffic, nobody obstructing you from traveling on a gravel road. So, yes, it is one of my favorite things to do. And so we traveled for a few kilometers down this road. So hubby researched and he found a back road which takes you from the lighthouse which we were at, which I didn't film, um, to Paternoster. And there was a gate. But first we had to travel on this road to get there. And as we passed, we saw this eco retreat. I know nothing about this. So if you're interested, please go and Google it and see what it's all about. And then we traveled towards Britannia Bay, where we saw some beautiful homes and the ocean, of course. and we just took a squiz around this area to see what Britannia Bay looks like. So the question to me from Abby was, would I live in this area? And my answer was definitely no. It was just too close to open veld. And friend Mr. Snake obviously lives close by. And that guy I have a huge phobia for. So in essence, if I lived on the top floor maybe only, that would be fine. But I would definitely not live in this area for that reason only. And then it was time for the other gravel road towards the gate, of course. So we found the gates which would lead us to Paternoster. Although the gate was closed, we could have had access to travel it. But a gentleman close by suggested we don't do that. Instead, he showed us another road, which is a tar road, towards Paternoster. He travelled in front of us, and at the intersection he waited. We thanked him and we went on our way. So the next gravel road to Paternoster, which is a back road from St. Helena Bay. Very interesting because you could see the farm areas and some wildlife, which I didn't get on camera because I was too late. And soon there was Star Road, and we were in Paternoster. So when you enter Paternoster, you'll find a lot of guys selling crayfish in bags, which I don't know if it's a good thing to buy or not, so I'm not going to say anything about that. But Paternoster is also a fishing village, and these local fishermen depend on the ocean or the seawater for their survival. They've been here for years, generation after generation. There are also a few restaurants in this area which you could enjoy a meal. So if you come here, you are also spoilt for choice. So there are a few restaurants. There's also a waterfront area now, which I got a small piece of, but not much, at the end of this video. So enjoy the local time in Paternoster with us. And we're going to be watching the boats coming in and out on the shore and all the kids on the beachfront after school. So just look how busy the launching area is for these boats. They do surf launching anyway. There are such a lot of fishing trailers out that it's almost impossible to count them. We took the time to park off, spend time with locals, and have some lovely conversation with them and talk about the fish that's coming out in abundance, which was a surprise to them. To my amazement, the kids were coming home from school. They were walking along the beachfront in full uniform, waiting for their dads who were on these boats so that they could jump in the boat and take a drive home. So instead of using a car or any other vehicle home, they come home in a boat. I thought that was really, really awesome. So these boats are the decorative area at the waterfront of Paternoster, which boasts with a few restaurants too. And as we were leaving Paternoster, of course there had to be a photo shoot time to prove that we were there. And what a beautiful background. On the morning of the third day, it was time to go home. And as they say, all good things come to an end, but not to an end. I always put a comma behind it and say until the next time. So for now, it is the end of the St. Helena trip, but there will be more coming. So I hope you're going to watch it with us. This video was a bit long, but enjoyable, I'm sure. So if you do it with people you love, there's no time limit. I hope you enjoyed this video with us, and if you did, please subscribe, like and share it. Thank you for watching our video. Till the next time.